Police investigate armed confrontation outside nightclub. News source Guyana reports, the Guyana police force is currently investigating an alarming armed confrontation that occurred recently between a group of police officers and gun-carrying partygoers outside a city nightclub. A video of the chaotic scene has surfaced on social media, showing several men armed with guns engaged in a heated argument with plainclothes police officers. The footage captures the tense moment when loud gunshots are heard, accompanied by a man being struck with a firearm, while others in the video draw their weapons. It remains unclear what instigated the confrontation. However, news source has learned that multiple individuals, including the police officers present at the scene, will be interviewed as part of a comprehensive investigation. A senior law enforcement official expressed concern over the incident, stressing the implications of an increasing number of firearms in the hands of civilians in the country. The official noted that the conduct of the policemen present during the altercation raises further issues regarding law enforcement's handling of such volatile situations. As the investigation unfolds, the Guyana police force aims to address the growing concerns surrounding firearms and public safety, ensuring that accountability is upheld. Further updates are expected as more information becomes available. Lorry driver charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Bidendra Singh, a 32-year-old motor lorry driver from Enmore, East Coast Demerara, has been charged in connection with a fatal accident that occurred on September 7, 2025, on the Enmore New Housing Scheme Access Road. The incident resulted in the death of Kimberly Singh. The allegation against Singh is that he operated a motor vehicle in a manner that was dangerous to the public, thereby causing Kimberly Singh's death, in violation of Section 35(1) of the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 51:02. On December 3, 2025, Singh appeared at the Cove and John Magistrates Court before Her Worship, Magistrate Orinthia Schmidt, where the charge was formally presented. He pleaded not guilty and was granted bail set at $250,000 GYD. The case has been adjourned with the NE. Update: minibus driver charged with causing death by dangerous driving. Ganesh Rak 2, a minibus driver, has been charged in relation to a fatal hit-and-run accident that occurred on October 25, 2025, on the Enmore Station Road, East Coast Demerara. The incident resulted in the death of Charan Suresh, 43, a resident of Newtown, Enmore. Rak 2 is accused of operating a motor vehicle in a manner that was dangerous to the public, thereby causing Suresh's death. This charge is in violation of Section 35(1) of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act, Chapter 51:02. On December 3, 2025, Rak 2 appeared at the Cove and John Magistrates Court before Her Worship Orinthia Schmidt, where the charge was formally read to him. He pleaded not guilty to the allegations and was granted bail set at $250,000 GYD. The court has adjourned the matter, with the next hearing scheduled for January 28, 2026. The circumstances surrounding the incident and the events leading to the charges are still under investigation. Police investigate suspected cannabis seizure at Ogle Airport. The Guyana police force is investigating the discovery of suspected cannabis found in cargo at the Airways facility at Eugene F. Correa International Airport. On Wednesday, December 3, 2025, at approximately 11:25 a.m., police conducted searches of cargo and uncovered 13 small Ziploc bags containing leaves, seeds, and stems believed to be cannabis. The items were cleverly concealed inside 4 packets of white oats, placed in a bag that was destined for Chi-Chi village in Region 7. The total weight of the suspected cannabis is reported to be 60 grams. The seized items have been taken to the Guyana Police Force, GPF, Narcotics Branch for further examination and analysis. As of now, no arrests have been made in connection with this seizure, and investigations are ongoing to determine the circumstances surrounding the discovery. The incident highlights the ongoing efforts of law enforcement to combat drug trafficking and ensure airport security. Charges dismissed against businessman Bradley Sampson. 5 of the 6 charges against 36-year-old businessman Bradley Sampson, also known as Doggy, were dismissed during a hearing at the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Wednesday. Initially, Sampson faced multiple charges stemming from incidents that occurred on July 15, 2025, at the Square of the Revolution. He pleaded not guilty to allegations of unlawfully wounding Janista Fordyce, using obscene language, threatening behavior, and behaving disorderly in public. He was also charged with unlawfully carrying a firearm and possessing an unlicensed firearm. These allegations arose from a dispute related to payments owed by the organization We Invest in Nationhood, WIN. During Wednesday's session, Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty heard that the prosecution had decided to dismiss 2 firearm-related charges: unlawful possession of a firearm and carrying an unlicensed firearm in public, based on advice from the Director of Public Prosecutions. However, no further details were provided regarding this withdrawal. In previous hearings, 3 additional charges, unlawful wounding, obscene language, and threatening behavior, were also dismissed. With only 1 charge of disorderly behavior remaining, Sampson's attorney, Jevon Cox, requested its dismissal, arguing that the prosecution had failed to present any evidence since the case began. He noted that no statements had been made available between July and December, claiming that judicial resources should not be wasted on this matter. In response, Magistrate McGusty sought clarification from the prosecution, which indicated that disclosure would be ready by December 5th. Consequently, the matter was adjourned to that date, giving the prosecution one final opportunity to advance the remaining charge. All other firearm-related charges have now been dismissed. Cox further explained that at previous hearings, he had applied for the dismissal of the 3 other charges, citing a statement from the virtual complainant indicating that she wished to pursue no further legal action against Sampson. He also noted her absence from court. The charges arose after a viral video surfaced, showing Sampson appearing to be in possession of a firearm. During his initial court appearance, Magistrate McGusty had granted him bail set at $270,000. Young mother appeals for clarity after newborn removed from care. Newsroom Guyana reports, a young mother from quarantine is seeking clarity and support after her newborn was reportedly taken from her care while she was recovering at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. Keshma Jagdeo, 20, from Miss Phoebe, Port Morant, recounted that she went to the Port Morant Public Hospital on Wednesday, October 22, 2025, believing she was going into labor. After receiving an injection, she was told her baby would not be born until November and was subsequently sent home. However, Keshma gave birth at home around 1 a.m. the following day. She was then admitted to the Port Morant Public Hospital for 1 day before being transferred to the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. Her mother, 43-year-old Shanti Suku, a domestic helper, visited Keshma and her newborn regularly during their hospital stay. However, Suku stated that Keshma was discharged without her baby. During a routine visit to the hospital on November 29th, Suku discovered that the baby had been taken by someone unknown to her. Before Keshma's delivery, representatives from the Child Protection Agency, CPA, had visited their home, raising concerns about the living conditions and suggesting that someone else should care for the child. They said I would not be able to care for the baby and that someone else should take the child, Suku stated. I just want my grandchild back. This is my first grandchild. I know how to take care of children. I have 4 of my own. Suku expressed frustration over the CPA's assessment of their living conditions, arguing that their home is safe and suitable for raising a child. They said this house is not proper, but this is a big, strong house. Nothing is wrong with it. Why can't they find another place for the baby instead of taking it from me? She questioned. Both Keshma and Shanti receive monthly public assistance payments from the government, which has raised further questions about the decision made by the CPA. Keshma, desperate for her child's return, is appealing for support and clarity on the situation. Police investigate firearms and cache discovery in Linden. The Guyana police force is currently investigating the discovery of firearms, ammunition, and a substantial amount of cash following an operation on Wednesday at Redwood Crescent, Mackenzie, Linden. A 30-year-old businessman residing at the location has been taken into custody during the operation. Law enforcement conducted a thorough search of the house, which led to the discovery of a suspected Glock 19 9mm pistol and a polymer 89mm pistol in a bedroom on the upper floor. The search also uncovered 6 magazines and a total of 56 rounds of 9mm ammunition, all concealed beneath the flooring. In addition to the firearms, authorities found a significant sum of money, including $6,915,000 GYD and $7,445 US, stored in a wardrobe within the same bedroom. The businessman remains in police custody as the seized firearms, ammunition, and cash are secured pending further investigation. Authorities have stated that inquiries are ongoing to ascertain the complete circumstances surrounding this discovery. This seizure follows a series of recent recoveries of illegal firearms across Guyana, highlighting ongoing concerns about the circulation of weapons in the country and emphasizing the need for continued vigilance from law enforcement. Update: Case adjourned in Regent Street gas station bombing. The case involving 4 suspects charged in connection with the deadly bombing at a Regent Street gas station has been adjourned to December 16, 2025. The delay follows the prosecution's disclosure that critical evidence is still undergoing analysis abroad. The proceedings took place on Wednesday morning at the Georgetown Magistrates Court, presided over by Acting Chief Magistrate Faith McGusty. The day had been allocated for further disclosure. However, Prosecutor Mandel Moore informed the court that the analysis of evidence remains incomplete. Moore explained that 2 items recovered from the bombing scene had been sent to India for testing, and the prosecution is eagerly awaiting the results. This prompted a request for additional time to finalize disclosure, which the court granted, moving the next hearing to December 16. The accused include Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Podemo, identified as the alleged mastermind of the bombing, along with co-defendants Alexander Betancourt, Johnny Boudram, and Crystal La Cruz. They are charged in relation to the October 26 explosion at the mobile fuel station located at Regent and King Streets, which tragically resulted in the death of a 6-year-old girl. Following the completion of the evidence disclosure, the case will proceed to a paper committal, a process where a magistrate reviews written evidence to determine if there is sufficient basis for the accused to stand trial in the High Court. 7 individuals have been charged in total concerning what investigators believe was a planned and coordinated attack. The remaining 3 suspects, Guyanese nationals Wayne Correa, Ramesh Pramdio, and Jennifer Rodriguez, are being tried separately to accommodate their cases in the appropriate magisterial districts, with their next hearing scheduled for December 17. Win party leader appeals to CARICOM on opposition leader election stalemate. Azruddin Mohammed, leader of the We Invest in Nationhood, Win party, has officially appealed to CARICOM's Secretary-General Dr. Carla Barnett for intervention in what he describes as a stalled and troubling process regarding the election of a leader of the opposition in Guyana. In a letter sent on Tuesday, which was later shared on WIN's Facebook page, Mohammed urged CARICOM to provide direct intercession at this critical juncture for the country's democratic stability. He expressed hope for a swift and meaningful response from Dr. Barnett, emphasizing that, as host to the CARICOM Secretariat for nearly 5 decades, Guyana deserves defense of the democratic principles championed by the regional body. It is my sincere hope that you, too, will wish to contribute meaningfully to safeguarding constitutional governance in a member state that has hosted the CARICOM Secretariat, Mohammed wrote. He referenced observations made by the CARICOM Election Observation Mission, highlighting the necessity for a level playing field and the expectation that CARICOM would act to uphold the principles it advocates. Addressing recent political developments, specifically following the September 1st elections, Mohammed highlighted President Irfan Ali's announcement about Speaker of the National Assembly Mansour Nadir being out of the country. He asserted that Deputy Speaker Dr. Vishwa Mahadio has the constitutional authority to preside in the Speaker's absence, yet the government has disregarded this, causing delays in the required meeting to elect the opposition leader. This process is being held in abeyance by the Speaker, which has buried the people's business of transparency and accountability, Mohammed stated. Moreover, he criticized CARICOM's lack of response to earlier appeals, noting that letters sent between August 20th and September 11th regarding the closure of over 76 bank accounts belonging to WIN candidates and members went unanswered. It is troubling that, despite repeated appeals to the Secretary-General's office, no action has been taken to address these serious political persecutions and injustices, he added. The WIN party's requests to CARICOM included engaging the Bank of Guyana and commercial banks to publicly condemn the politically motivated account closures and to demand the reinstatement of all affected accounts. Mohammed asserted that the closures violate basic human and political rights. Elaborating on the political persecution faced by himself, his family, and WIN supporters, Mohammed detailed a range of alleged abuses, including revocation of firearm licenses, property raids, attempts to restrict travel, harassment during regional travel, and disruptions of community meetings. He stated that supporters have faced various forms of victimization, including dismissals, forced transfers, and contract cancellations. In closing, he urged CARICOM to undertake 3 specific actions. Request that Speaker Mansour Nadir immediately convene a meeting to elect the leader of the opposition. Assist in strengthening Guyana's institutional frameworks to ensure that the opposition's constitutional rights and responsibilities are respected. Support the adoption of a binding CARICOM-brokered code of ethical political conduct to foster respect, tolerance, and issue-based politics among political parties in Guyana. President announces $50,000 cash grant for persons with disabilities. In a significant move to support vulnerable citizens, President Dr. Irfan Ali announced on Wednesday that all persons living with disabilities in Guyana will receive a one-off cash grant of $50,000 before the end of this month. During a Christmas luncheon commemorating International Day for Persons with Disabilities, President Ali stated, "I have instructed that a one-off grant of $50,000 be paid to every disabled person before the end of this month. This initiative will amount to approximately $1.4 billion in direct assistance, benefiting more than 27,000 individuals." The President emphasized that this grant reflects the government's ongoing commitment to fostering an inclusive society where disabled individuals can fully engage in all facets of national life. "Our mission is to create an environment where the disabled can fully participate, pursue their dreams, and contribute meaningfully to our nation's growth," he said. Dr. Ali reiterated his vision for a unified and inclusive Guyana, ensuring that no one is left behind. "Together we will continue to build a unified, inclusive Guyana where no one is left behind," he affirmed. This latest initiative builds on a series of support measures for individuals with disabilities introduced in recent years. In 2022, the government launched a one-off grant of $100,000 for children with permanent disabilities, followed by a $35,000 cash grant for all registered persons with disabilities issued in late 2024. Outcry over disparities in justice. A call for equality in Guyana. Duarte Hetzberger's MP impassioned address on the state of justice in Guyana has sparked significant dialogue regarding perceived inequalities within the legal system. His remarks come in the wake of a harsh sentence handed down to a single mother who received a 1-year prison term and a fine of $1 million for a cyber offense. Good morning, Guyana. I have to speak from my heart today, because what happened yesterday cut deep. It shook me. It made me question what kind of country we are really living in, Hetzberger stated, highlighting the emotional weight of the situation. He expressed outrage that while a hardworking woman stands up for her rights and faces severe punishment, individuals like Jennifer Ally, who have been known to use racial slurs and insults, receive leniency, just a gentle reprimand and an offer of counseling. We have the Guyanese critic, who bullies and harasses people publicly, and nothing ever happens. Not even a whisper from the law, Hetzberger lamented. Hetzberger questioned the integrity of the justice system, asking, "Is this the one Guyana they promised us? Or is it one justice system for them and another for the rest of us?" He pointed to stark disparities, such as individuals charged with serious crimes, including murder and attempted murder, being granted bail, while a mother seeking to support her family faces the full brunt of the law. How is it that a man who killed a police officer can get bail on his first court appearance? How is it that attempted murder gets bail? Vehicular manslaughter gets bail? Hetzberger exclaimed, underscoring the troubling inconsistency in judicial outcomes. The 24-hour news cycle has not overlooked this conversation, with many in the public echoing Hetzberger's sentiments. He urged citizens to refuse to ignore the discrepancies in justice, emphasizing that justice looks at your face, your politics, and who you associate with, further arguing that true democracy and justice should not be contingent upon one's social status or political alignment. This is personal, Hetzberger continued. Injustice anywhere eventually becomes injustice everywhere. Today it is her. Tomorrow it could be me, could be you. It could be your son, your daughter, your sister, or your brother. He called upon the populace to unite in the face of these injustices, declaring, "Guyanese, I beg of you to stand up for what is right, stand up for each other, stand up so that justice can finally be justice, not punishment for some and protection for others." As Hetzberger declared, "If we don't stand now, we may all fall later. Enough is enough." His words resonate with many citizens, creating a powerful call for a more equitable and just society in Guyana. The dialogue surrounding this incident continues to raise critical questions about fairness and accountability in the Guyanese justice system. Attorney General addresses privacy concerns over digital identity cards. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlal, SC, has firmly rejected claims that the government's rollout of digital identity cards poses any threat to citizens' privacy. During his weekly Issues in the News program, he emphasized that necessary legal safeguards are already in place and that only public domain information is being collected in the initial phase. Nandlal clarified that the distribution of new EID cards to select state employees is being conducted on a limited, voluntary basis as preparations continue for the full implementation of the Digital Identity Card Act and the Data Protection Act, both passed last year as part of Guyana's digital transformation agenda. These two pieces of legislation are modern and visionary, crafted to meet international standards and containing all necessary protective safeguards for managing sensitive personal data, he stated. He further explained that both acts contain commencement orders yet to be activated, recognizing the need for a complex infrastructure before their enforcement. These are complex pieces of legislation requiring a substantial administrative apparatus, Nanlal noted. He assured that the government is moving with every convenient urgency to establish the necessary systems and trained personnel. Addressing concerns raised, particularly by the political opposition, Nanlal assured the public that no private or sensitive data is being collected at this stage. Participation has been entirely voluntary, as the law is not yet in force, he stated, adding that the information being uploaded to the cards includes names, addresses, ID card numbers, and other civil registry details already held within existing government systems. He emphasized, no personal medical data, financial data such as bank accounts, or deeply personal information have been taken from anyone. Nanlal criticized the fears expressed by the APNU and others, labeling them as unfounded, without basis and polluted by politics. Once the necessary systems and regulatory structures are fully operational, he explained, the commencement orders for both laws will be issued, making participation legally required for all citizens in line with international standards for national identification systems. Currently, he reiterated, the process remains voluntary and strictly governed by internal safeguards. Nanlal concluded by asserting the government's commitment to ensuring that when the digital ID system is fully launched, it will operate under the most modern statutory protection to guarantee citizens' privacy, security, and confidence. Attorney General clarifies new motor vehicle tint policy. Attorney General Anil Nanlal, SC, has addressed concerns regarding the government's newly announced motor vehicle tint policy during his weekly issues in the news program on Tuesday night. Nanlal emphasized that the measure is part of a comprehensive reform of traffic laws aimed at enhancing safety and reducing accidents on the nation's roadways. Nanlal pointed to the government's ongoing monitoring of an alarming increase in fatal road accidents, reckless driving behaviors, and the misuse of public roads, stating that these trends have raised significant concerns within the administration. He highlighted the recently introduced e-ticketing system as a pivotal advancement, focusing on speeding and the non-wearing of seatbelts, two major causes of serious road accidents. The president himself has spoken about how successful this measure has been, Nanlal noted. When the statistics are properly analyzed, one will see a reduction in traffic accidents generally because of this approach. The Attorney General confirmed that other reforms are already in development, including a review of regulations governing motor vehicle and driver licenses, particularly for heavy-duty and specialized vehicles, an expansion of the list of ticketable offenses under the e-ticketing system, harsher penalties for speeding and other dangerous road offenses. Addressing the tint policy specifically, Nanlal clarified that the initiative aims to establish consistency, equity, and scientific uniformity in the regulation of tints. Under the new policy, all vehicles will be required to adhere to a standard light penetration level of 35%, consistent with factory tints used by manufacturers worldwide. There is a scientific way of measuring the lightness or darkness of tint, Nanlal explained. Manufacturers use 35% when they produce vehicles. That will remain and apply to all vehicles. Additionally, a structured waiver system will be implemented for specific categories of users, such as high-security vehicles, diplomats, certain government officials, and any individuals granted waivers by the minister under clearly defined regulations. These categories will qualify for a darker level of tint, he stated. Nanlal dismissed claims that the new tint policy lacks clarity, arguing that any confusion stems from misunderstandings or political noise. You may disagree with the measure, but that is different from saying it is unclear, he asserted. The measure is not unclear. That distinction must be drawn. The tint policy is expected to be rolled out in conjunction with the government's broader overhaul of road traffic laws, as Guyana works to mitigate accidents and foster a safer transport environment. Georgetown Public Hospital achieves historic chain kidney transplants. The Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation, GPHC, has made history by successfully completing a series of chain kidney transplants, the first of their kind not only for Guyana but for the entire Caribbean. A chain kidney transplant involves pairs of patients in need of a kidney transplant and donors willing to donate on their behalf. In this landmark procedure, 4 pairs were involved, comprising 4 donors and 4 recipients, resulting in a total of 8 surgeries performed on September 29th and October 2nd, 2025. At a press conference held at GPHC's Resource Center, Dr. Kishore Prasad, head of the Department of Transplant Surgery, detailed the significance of this achievement. This involved a 4-pair chain transplant among 4 sets of patients who were incompatible due to blood group or antibody incompatibilities. He explained, highlighting that none of the recipients had a suitable donor. The success of these transplants was attributed to meticulous planning and team collaboration among local doctors at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Dr. Prasad noted, with experience and careful use of virtual cross-matching techniques, the team effectively matched each recipient with a suitable donor. He emphasized that GPHC leads the Caribbean in transplant programs, being the only facility currently conducting pair exchange and chain kidney transplants. This successful initiative has positioned the hospital as a frontrunner in the region for such critical medical procedures. Among the recipients, Samantha Alt spoke of her life-changing experience, stating, "I had been suffering from kidney disease for over 2 years on dialysis before I learned about the possibility of a transplant." Alt expressed profound gratitude for the opportunity to regain her health. Kieran Hardiel, a 2-time transplant recipient, shared his journey, emphasizing the challenges of being on dialysis and his relief at receiving a match for his second transplant. "My first transplant lasted approximately 9 years and it failed. Being on dialysis isn't easy. It drains you. I am now proud to be a kidney transplant recipient," he said. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony praised Dr. Prasad and his team for surpassing expectations, noting the significant expansion of the transplant program since its establishment at GPHC. He announced plans to enhance HLA testing capabilities by sending a doctor to India for specialized training. "This addition will enhance our ability to conduct precise matching for kidney transplants in Guyana," Dr. Anthony stated. Robbie Rambaran, CEO of GPHC, acknowledged the hospital's achievements while raising concerns about the alarming rise in kidney disease, which has become a major health challenge globally. He highlighted that kidney disease was the 9th leading cause of death in 2023, with an increasing number of patients seeking treatment at GPHC. This historic achievement represents a major milestone in healthcare for Guyana, improving the lives of those impacted by kidney disease and showcasing the capabilities of local medical professionals. Single mother overcomes adversity to graduate from IDCE. Afiana Lesperance, a single mother whose childhood was fraught with hardship and discouragement, is set to be one of 469 students graduating from the University of Guyana's Institute of Distance and Continuing Education, IDCE, on Friday, December 5, 2025. Afiana's story reflects the journeys of many IDCE graduates who have embraced a crucial second chance to transform their lives. By completing the certificate program in Industrial Relations and Management, she has opened new avenues, including the possibility of furthering her education towards a degree at the University of Guyana. Growing up as the eldest of 7 children raised by a single mother, Afiana faced low expectations and harsh judgments from peers and educators. They would say hurtful things like, "Nothing good will come from you." Those words could have destroyed me, but instead, they fueled my determination, she recalled. Her son serves as her primary source of strength and inspiration. Everything I pushed through, I did for him. He has been my greatest motivation, Afiana shared. A pivotal moment in her journey occurred when she was denied a job opportunity due to her lack of qualifications. Those words of denial cut deeper than a knife, she said. Rather than succumb to defeat, Afiana reached out to the University of Guyana and discovered it's never too late for anything. Motivated, she enrolled in the Industrial Relations and Management program at IDCE. Balancing her studies with full-time work and parenting required immense discipline and resilience. My journey was challenging but extremely rewarding. There were many late nights, moments of doubt, and times when I felt overwhelmed. But I persevered because I wanted a better life for my son and myself, she explained. Through her dedication and hard work, Afiana now holds the position of Human Resource Manager at Professional Guard Services, an achievement she once thought unattainable. Graduating means everything to me. It is proof that my past does not define my future. It represents growth, independence, and breaking generational barriers, she said. She credits her support system, including her son and siblings, for their encouragement during tough times and expressed gratitude towards the lecturers and staff at IDCE. Above all, she recognizes her faith as a guiding force. I thank God for the courage, strength, wisdom, and understanding that He has blessed me with. Without God, none of this would be possible, she added. Having conquered obstacles many would consider insurmountable, Afiana hopes to inspire others with her story. Do not give up on yourself. Your situation is not your destination. You can achieve anything once you believe you deserve better, she urged. With her IDCE journey concluding, Afiana plans to pursue a bachelor's degree at the University of Guyana, aiming to enhance her qualifications in human resources and management. The University of Guyana's Institute of Distance and Continuing Education will host its convocation on Friday, December 5th at 1 p.m. at the university's Turkian campus. The public is invited to view the ceremony live on the university's Facebook page. Win Party condemns harsh sentence for single mother convicted of cyberbullying. In a recent press statement, the We Invest in Nationhood, Win Party is voicing strong concerns following the sentencing of single mother Lorien Tony, who was jailed for 1 year and fined $1 million for cyberbullying. As an ambulance driver at Lethem Hospital, Tony is described as an upstanding citizen who pleaded guilty with an explanation in court, yet received a severe sentence. Win is questioning the consistency of the judicial system, pointing out that similar cases involving individuals aligned with the ruling party have not resulted in comparable punitive measures. Where was this energy when Jennifer Ally and Guyanese critic were breaking every cybercrime rule possible? Or when the businessman shot a police officer and killed him? The party stated. They also referenced incidents involving Carl Singh, the REO of Region 9, who was involved in a shooting. The party highlighted a perceived disparity in treatment between its members and government associates. Many public cases of cyberbullying involving PPP supporters have been addressed before the Ethnic Relations Commission, with their penalty merely being counseling, they noted. Why such stark disparity now? Win is calling on the international community to take notice of the judicial treatment of individuals associated with their party compared to those aligned with the government. The party urges the judiciary to reassess the judgment given to Ms. Lorien Tony, emphasizing the need for fairness and consistency in the application of the law. As discussions surrounding this case unfold, Win aims to advocate for equitable treatment for all citizens, regardless of their political affiliations.